Yes, peeps, man. What's going on, man? What is going on, man? G back in the building. Yes, peeps. I'm going to be doing a Premier League roundup after every match week, alongside the Champions League roundups as well. So yeah, trying to put as much content out as humanly possible. So make sure you smash the like, share, and subscribe. Yes, some of them will be live. I don't know which ones. Just depends on when I've got the time to be able to do so. But the first one I thought I'll just drop to you guys, and then you guys can watch it when you guys are free. But listen, man, there's no better place to start. It was a very good weekend, of course, for Liverpool, getting the victory against Everton. But I think there's a better place to start. We can end with that one. And that is Manchester City versus Arsenal. So this is probably the biggest game of the weekend. Two heavyweight teams, Mikel Arteta versus Pep Guardiola, master versus pupil, all of these kind of different little things. It started off really well for Manchester City. Erling Haaland, of course, getting on the score sheet. I mean, this guy is, the best striker in the Premier League, not even really close with whoever number two is. Just lethal, so lethal, man. It's ridiculous. But yeah, we'll talk about more performances and stuff like that later. But Arsenal, I think in this game, listen, well done for getting the goal. Martinelli coming off the bench again, 93rd minute, beautiful chip over Donnarumma, which was quite surprising because City were playing with like a back five / back six, taking off Haaland. I think Doku had, of course, come off as well. So you thought maybe they might be able to just hold on to get that victory, and then of course they can move on, to the next game. But unfortunately, they weren't able to. And but Arsenal, another big game. And listen, they got the point in this one, so you could say, listen, you can be happy within that in itself. But performance wise, in these big games so far, I've been very down, and I tipped Arsenal to win the league because I thought this was supposed to be the year that when you do come up against the likes of the Liverpools, the Manchester Cities, and even the Manchester Uniteds, you're putting in better performances, and able to get over the line. But so far in the three games, I know they got, what's that now? What, 3 points in that time? And to be honest, that's probably all you deserve. Even Manchester United game in the first game of the season, weren't good in that game, weren't good in the Liverpool game. They were a bit better than Liverpool, but Liverpool aren't exactly the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then Manchester City again was not good in the game, man. Like if I had to tip it, I'll probably say Manchester City just edged the game. Not by a long shot. It wasn't like a crazy amount, but they, in my opinion, they just edged the game. I thought Arsenal were the away side, Manchester City were probably the home side, until maybe the last 15, 20 minutes when Pep Guardiola decided to take everybody off. But yeah, listen, look, 1-0 down, context of the game, you'd be happy taking the point, of course, and it doesn't leave you too far behind Liverpool had you'd not got the goal and everything. But I'm quite disappointed with Arsenal so far. They really haven't shown me anything as of yet that makes me think, you know what? It's a long season at the end of the day. So of course I'm not going to be too harsh, but yeah, it is one of those. At the moment, I'm just not seeing it, and I should be seeing it. I'll be honest with you, I really should be seeing it. Everything else should just be more or less like a formality, and at the moment, just not really noticing it from them, if I'm being honest. But listen, man, Pep Guardiola, unlucky for him. Different tact, like I said, towards the end of the game, he doesn't usually just sit out and just defend like there's no tomorrow. Unfortunately, didn't really work out for him. Didn't really work out for him. But listen, 1-1 apiece. Two teams walk away with a point. Nobody loses. I guess for them, it might be a good thing. I don't know. You'd have to ask Arsenal and Manchester City fan. Moving on to the next game, man. Another big game this weekend. Manchester United versus Chelsea. Man United, finally. Back to back, apparently, I think it is. Yeah, back to back Old Trafford games. They have won. They haven't done that. I don't think they've done it once under Ruben Amorim. Could be wrong with that. Apologies if I am. But I'm sure they haven't done back-to-back home games victories since Ruben Amorim has obviously been in charge. Listen, big victory for Manchester. Absolutely massive for Manchester United. Both teams having a man sent off in the game. Casemiro, absolutely stupid red card in the game. I don't know why he did that. You're on a yellow already. You don't need to do that. I know it was harsh. I get that. But that was just silly. Sanchez, first 5 minutes. It's so mad because I'm sure I heard Maresca say something like he should have just let him can't like go on and score, and yeah, maybe the team. But I was like, I don't know, man. It didn't really seem like one of those kind of situations. Do you know what I mean? Like it really it looked like you was losing regardless. Like it was one of those. There was no win-win situation, within that. Maybe your team could have come back and stuff like that. I hear it, but yeah, with how the game kind of panned out, nah, I think taking off Cole Palmer as well. I think he got an injury, but again, I'm not even 100% on that. Took off quite a few attackers, went quite defensive. Yeah, didn't deserve the victory. Manchester United, they played decent. They did play decent. Wasn't a vintage performance or anything like that. It was just, it was all right. And I think if I had to pick between the two, probably go Manchester United edge this game, to be honest with you. Chelsea will be very disappointed. That's 2 defeats now in a row, Bayern Munich and now Manchester United. And they need to get back to winning ways. They really, really do. Whether they can do that in their next game, I don't know. But yes, at the moment, yeah, it's not really looking too good for Chelsea. And to be honest, even I know obviously 10 men, so it is a little bit difficult to judge. But yeah, I don't know, man. Going forward again, I'm not really looking too impressed. Like Cole Palmer's looking fine, like when he's obviously on the pitch. But everyone else, I'm not really feeling the way that these lot are playing at the moment. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't really look that good. Yeah, it doesn't really look that good, man. But listen, it is what it is. Those teams will be happy. The Eagles. A Mateta again with a goal 2-1 against West Ham London Derby. And a beautiful goal by what's his name? Mitchell. Beautiful goal to kind of seal the victory. Obviously, West Ham did pull one back through Bowen. But this was what I call a vintage performance, if I'm being honest with you. They're like, for me anyway, watching the game, and I thought, yeah, this is like Palace look like they've grown up. I don't. It sounds weird to say, it really does, but they just seem like they've grown up from in like the last 18 months. But even now, like this season, and I don't know, it's still early, so of course they might lose their next 6 games in a row, and this could just be whatever. But just in what I'm seeing at the moment, they've just grown up, man. They've just grown up, and they've just got some really good. Obviously, Wharton had a really, really good game. Mateta obviously getting himself the goal. I thought defensively they were kind of calm, to be honest with you. Yeah, a few moments here and there, but I didn't really look like. Again, this was a game where I looked at it and thought if there was going to be a winner, it was going to be Palace. I really didn't think that West Ham would go out there, and get the victory or anything like that. But yeah, they something about them. They just look grown. They just look like they've grown up. It's a weird thing to say, I know, about a team, but yeah, that's just kind of how I kind of look at Palace. Again, unbeaten this season as well, alongside Liverpool. So listen, Glasnow's having a really good start to the season. Hopefully, it can continue. It's funny because the next game is Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. So yeah, I'm pretty sure one of them is going to probably lose the unbeaten record. Who it will be, I don't know. We'd have to, of course, wait and see. But yeah, big up to Palace, man. Big up to Palace every single time. Even just on that, before we even move on, West Ham look like they're in some serious trouble. Serious trouble. Like, it just doesn't look like anything is working for them at the moment. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. Manager, you can say that, but people were like, yeah, Graham Potter should be a good manager. Like, listen, I don't know. West Ham fans, let me know in the comment section. We had Brighton versus Spurs. I'm not even surprised by the score. 2-2. I'm not surprised. Spurs, 2-0 down, quick time. First 30 minutes, boom. But they, of course, obviously came back into the game. Own goal to get them the equalizer. And defensively from both teams, I didn't think it was good. Going forward, I thought it was better from Brighton than it was from Spurs. Spurs just felt like they were taking ages to actually get into the game. That was weird. I didn't really understand why that was, to be honest with you. Like, they just felt like it was taking them a while really to click into some kind of gear. And I thought to myself, you know what, 2-0, if Brighton go ahead, like Brighton are one of them teams, they could go score 5 and you're just out of the game, or they can concede, which is exactly what Brighton did. And Brighton are going, for me, how I just said about Crystal Palace, feel like they're growing up. Brighton just seem like they're moving a bit childish. In the lot again, even again in the last 18 months, they just seem a bit childish, man. Seem a little bit childish. I feel like in games like this, you need to win. If you're trying to go to that next level, which Crystal Palace is obviously at, and which they've been there before when they got Europa League, but that was with like the McAllisters, the Caicedos, and stuff like that. If you're trying to get back to that kind of level or remain consistent, I don't know, man. I feel like games like this, they have too many games like this. This isn't just this game. I've seen this match too many times from Brighton. Just childish defensively, childish in your decision making during the game and stuff like that. I just feel like, come on, man. Like, you're a good team, good manager, good players. Should be doing a little bit, better than that. Spurs got lucky. I'll be real. Like, I just looked at him for listen, you walked away. Yeah, do you get what I mean? Like that could have been an L, like real quick for you. You know, you're definitely gonna have to do a lot better in your next game. So yeah, but listen, you walk away with a point. You're not gonna be too mad. This is probably the game of the weekend for me. And Fulham were probably the team of the weekend for me, to be honest with you. Brilliant. I mean, they went 1-0 down, 3-1 against Brentford. Went 1-0 down to Damsgaard, which was a good goal by him. Lackadaisical at the back. So they started slow. I just kept thinking, oh, Fulham. Like again, this was one of those games. I thought to myself, yeah, Fulham, you're gonna get popped today. Do you know what I mean? Brentford are on it if they're on it, but I just felt like Brentford didn't really have enough. Brentford didn't have like the weapons that I felt that Fulham had in their team with their front three. Iwobi, you got Wilson, you got Josh King as well in there. I just didn't really feel like Brentford really had enough. And they weren't really posing too much of a threat. Obviously, I know they were trying to do the long balls and all of that, from throw-ins and stuff like that. But it just wasn't really working for me anyway. And I just felt like, really and truly, if I'm being honest, Fulham probably could have scored maybe a couple more in the game. And they were brilliant, man. This was probably the best game I saw of the weekend. This was a really, really good game. Really good performance from Fulham. Iwobi, so underrated, man. Like I've even underrated him. Do you know what I mean? Like even just what I'm seeing of him, I'm like, nah, you're one of them players. Like you're like a standard Premier League player. And I don't want that to sound like I'm being disingenuous or being rude, but like some people, obviously you aspire to be whatever level, right? But if I'm talking to like a kid, I'm like, listen, if you can have like a career like a Alex Iwobi, bro, you're good. You know what I'm saying? I think you got man of the match in the game as well, but you're just good. You're calm. Do you know what I mean? Like you'll always have a place in the Premier League. Like you'll never have to drop down, obviously, depending on age and stuff like that. But you shouldn't have to drop down anytime soon. He's really, really found his home there at Fulham, man. And yeah, big up to him. Big up to him every single time. And big up to Fulham. That was a very, very good victory. Leeds, listen, man, 3-1 against Wolves. They went 1-0 down. I thought, could be a bit techie. Seeing the goals, I said, okay, cool. So a bit of the highlights, I said, okay, cool. Yeah, Leeds were on job. Do you know what I mean? Goal, goal, goal. Right before half time. Guess what? No goals after half time. That is exactly how these silly things kind of go. But listen, look, good victory by Leeds, man. Needed that victory against Wolves. Wolves, looking very techie for them. Their striker, I can't pronounce his name, Krejci. I could be butchering that name. I think I am. Michael, please tell me. Yeah, he scored in his home debut. A good goal, by the way. Good goal. He waited for the keeper to kind of dive, and then he kind of dinked it over him. I like that. Brilliant free kick from Statch. That was a brilliant goal. Okafor as well. That was a good left-footed finish, and then a brilliant header by Calvert-Lewin. Finally, getting off the mark for Leeds. So yeah, listen, look, good victory from Leeds United. Again, you need these kind of victories in the Premier League if you're trying to stay up in that first season after coming back as well. So listen, man, big up to them. And by the way, big up to Ampadu as well. I thought he was decent. Man. He's had one of them kind of careers where I thought he was going to blow. I fully thought, Ampadu's going to be like, listen, I had him in my Wonder Kids years ago. Didn't really work out for him. But again, sometimes you can find your level, pattern, and then you can move forward, man. So it's like a lesson to the kids out there, man. Don't get too downhearted. That word, yeah, downhearted. If certain things don't really pattern for you at the beginning, man, you never know where your career can end up in like 10 years time. That guy has been out on loan to freaking how many different teams? You know what I mean? So listen, man, it can happen. Next up, Burnley. Burnley getting the draw. They probably thought they were going to get against Liverpool in the previous game, but they got that against Nottingham Forest. Nico Williams, the second minute, get himself a goal, and then Anthony. I think for Burnley, this is going to be one of them seasons. He's going to need to probably bag double. Well, he's going to need to bag double figures. If that's what you want him to do, but he's going to need them. He's going to need to bag those double figures if they're going to have any chance of staying up. I think because of I don't see them scoring that many goals. They don't look like a team, even in this game. They have their chances. I'm not saying they don't, but they're not a team that I look at and think, yeah, you'll just always keep creating chances, but your league get the back or whatever. Like they're just not really that type of team. If I'm being honest with you, Forest felt like it was kind of disappointing for now. I know Ange obviously just coming in and stuff like that, but even in this game, I looked at it and thought they should be getting victories in games like this. Again, trying to maintain the levels. Don't do a Brighton where you're like up and down. You need to maintain the levels. I know you got a new manager, and I get that. And listen, Burnley clearly from what Liverpool, failed to kind of do in a sense, in terms of really break them down in the game. Nottingham Forest, I felt kind of a little bit the same. But listen, it's just one of those. If I'm being totally honest with you, but 1-1. a point apiece. And this was also an interesting game. 0-0 between Bournemouth and Newcastle. Um, I would say Bournemouth would be more disappointing. They look like the team that were really they were the ones who if I had to tip a winner, they were the ones I thought were going to win the game. Newcastle, yeah. When I was watching the game, Newcastle was a weird one, right? When I'm watching them, and then obviously we saw them play against Barcelona the other day. I mean, they got popped off the park, really, truly, and it was just pure quality that kind of won the game. But when I'm watching them, I'm like, it's not really like, I don't know, like, how can I put it? I feel like you need to play Jacob Murphy a bit more. Like, he got to start games. I don't know if he was injured. I don't know, but he got to start games and he's got to play a little bit more. Because I just feel like you're missing something. Like, I like Alanga. I do like him. I think he's a decent player, but even Gordon, like, I don't know, like, it's just weird with them. I just think you need to maybe just go a bit more direct with the way that you guys play, because at the moment I just feel like there's no real patterns. Obviously Voltamades just come in, I get that he's still trying to figure out what is he about, kind of thing. And he had some decent hold up play and stuff like that in the game, good little nice little neat touches, but yeah, nah, I think yeah, I think something just, I don't know, like, and even if I look at it, even if he had Isak, yes, Isak would have been Isak, and he will bag his goals and do whatever he does. But I don't know, man. You need a bit more. You need a little bit more. I don't know if it's something. I don't know how to explain it, people, but there's just something about Newcastle I'm watching. I'm like, this don't look right. Do you know what I mean? You got good players in your team. Your midfield is one of the best midfielders in the league. And your defense is actually pretty good as well. I like Botman, I like Shaw, I like Livramento, one of my favorite players. Lewis Hall as well. Dan Burn, decent player. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not like you got a dead team. But it almost reminds you of Liverpool, where you're like, this don't look right. But you got good players, but it just doesn't look right when I'm watching you play. Something about Newcastle. But listen, look, I felt like I said, I felt that Bournemouth maybe just edged this one for me anyway. But again, who am I? Who am I? Sunderland versus Villa, 1-1, a point apiece. Sunderland went down to 10 men. Reynaldo got himself sent off after a kick out against Cash. That was very, very stupid from him, by the way, putting your team kind of under that pressure. I'll keep it a buck though. You see Villa, they look like they can't score to save their lives. They just look like they've got no idea how to score goals. And it's weird. You got Ollie Watkins, who I think is one of the better strikers in this league. But you just look so toothless. It is unreal. Long range strike from obviously Matty Cash. Yeah, I hear that. Keeper absolutely fumbled. Sunderland's goal, Isidore, that header from Xhaka, he kind of like it's like when the ball came in, it's like he cushioned it into his path. And then obviously the finish from Isidore. Sunderland probably, I feel maybe they edged it. I'll be real. With 10 men, they looked the better team. Villa just looked, I don't know, man. They like what it is about them this season, I have zero idea. But you're going backwards. You were a team I thought, you know what, top four, you can definitely challenge maybe a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, it's for me right now, yeah, it's not looking too great for Sunderland at the Sunderland about Aston Villa at this moment in time. Again, things can always change. So let's of course wait and see. Last but not least, man. Last but not least, we have to end it here. Of course we do, man. Champions and that. Come on. Liverpool versus Everton. Merseyside derby. 2-1 Liverpool. 2-1 Liverpool. Typical Liverpool performance. Typical Liverpool performance. Goals from Gravenberch and Ekatike. Gravenberch was really good, actually. This was a game I thought he was good. Gravenberch was good in the game. Ekatike was all right, but he got himself his goal. Just a gay as well, pulling one back for Everton. But yeah, it was a typical Liverpool performance. Good one half, absolutely rubbish the second half. So I don't know, the things I don't even understand, because usually it's like we're poor first half, but then we turn it up in the second half. Because yeah, from what I was kind of led to believe, it was like, yeah, that's supposed to be the psychology. We keep our energy for the second half. Yeah, we had zero energy. We did like that. I don't know. Like, it just looked like we were just, yeah. It looked like really we probably should have drawn the game. But if I had to pick a winner, I would have picked Liverpool. I would say on the face of it, Liverpool probably definitely deserved it. But yeah, that second half, I don't understand it. And I think again, what bugs people the most is that why are you only good for one half of a game? But in the other half, whatever half it is, it doesn't even matter now. Whether it's the first half, whether it's the second half, you just cannot like keep this up for a full game. It's only for a half each time. And I don't even want to hear, oh, it's a no team. It's got nothing to do with the team. Like in terms of new players and stuff, zero to do with that. Because we were doing that last season. And we're still doing it now. I would have thought by now something like you can have one game where you're just good in both halves. And I thought this might be the game that they would have done it. But It is what it is. But listen, look, Liverpool walk away with the 3 points. That makes it 5 from 5 for Liverpool, top of the league by 5 points ahead of Tottenham and Arsenal. In fact, to be fair, Arsenal obviously got their point as well. Crystal Palace are obviously up there. Bournemouth are up there as well. So yeah, man. Listen, look, Liverpool being 5 points clear at the top of the table, really, really good. Yeah, 5 from 5 without playing good at all, to be honest with you, which begs the question about the quality of the rest of this league. To be fair to you, because yeah, I mean, if Liverpool can be top and they've not played good like that at all, yeah, you need to really have, like, if you let Liverpool win the league, you only have yourselves to blame at this point. You really do. You've only got yourselves to blame, and you can't blame no one else. You can't look at anybody else and be like, oh no, you guys fucked up. You guys really, really did fuck up. Let me give you my team of the week. And so I'll always try and end it and, kind of pick the players that I felt were really, really good in terms of their performances. Dubravka in, because I've got obviously 4-3-3. Dubravka in goal. Yeah, I thought he put in a decent performance. I thought he put in a decent listen. I think I read it as like made like 7 saves, 5 in the bot. Like, yeah. And the thing is, it looked like he made bare saves in the game. So definitely have to big him up for that. At left back, I'm definitely gonna go O'Reilly. I thought he was good against Arsenal. I thought he was good, man. I didn't think Arsenal had any real joy down that side. I know Madueke was like trying it, but I felt like he held his own. He's young as well. He held his own. He really, really held his own in this game. The only other choice I had was Kirkes, who I thought had probably his best game for Liverpool. I'm going to give it to O'Reilly. I think O'Reilly deserves it. Nico Williams, definitely at right back. I just couldn't really think of another right back who I thought was good out of the whole Premier League fixtures, and he got a goal. So I give him that. The two centre backs, Senesi, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Like, yeah, Bournemouth are on some mad thing when it comes to their players. You just seem to always find and have these players who are just they're just dope players. Listen, don't be surprised if PSG pick this guy up next season. You know what I mean? It'll be one of those. Zabini gone to PSG, Howson gone to Real Madrid. He gone Senesi back there. It's mad. It's mad. Like, I thought he was solid. I thought he was so solid. Mukiele, Mukiele, hey, M. Dot. That's what I'm gonna call him. M. Dot. Sunderland centre back. He was solid. Bearing in mind your team went down to 10 men, I thought he was solid in the game. He was really, really solid, man. So yeah, man, big up to him and he kind of helped so that Aston Villa weren't able to get themselves that second goal. So yeah, big up to him. Big up to him. Midfield. Gravenberch, probably his best game of the season, in my opinion. Really good performance from Gravenberch in the middle of the park for Liverpool. He just looked like he was so all round in the game. That was one thing I definitely have to give him. He just looked like he was putting in that kind of all round performance. So big up to him for that. Wharton was like in cruise control against West Ham. I just felt like passes, everything looked slow. And that's when I know, yeah, if everything looks slow around you and you still look good, no more needs to be said. Stack for Leeds United, brilliant goal, brilliant free kick. I think got himself assist as well, and obviously just helping Leeds obviously to get the victory. Do you know what I mean? And like I said before about Leeds getting a victory against Wolves, they needed that, man. They really, really did. And I felt like he was actually really good in the middle of the park. Could have put Elliot Anderson there. I thought he was another one who was actually pretty decent. I think he was the only one actually. Oh, I would have said Damsgaard maybe, but yeah, nah. I think Stack or Elliot Anderson were the only two that I really had who I could have potentially have put in there. To be honest with you, so you could pick either or. Front three. The striker position was the toughest one. I didn't think any striker played that good. I just gave it to Haaland because I said your goal, his link up play, the hold up play, like getting the team up the field sometimes. Like, him and Doku, two-man, that was good. That like they were good, man, because they were proper playing like an away team where we're gonna leave these two up top and everyone else is just gonna kind of defend behind. And I felt like Haaland, like for even though he scores bare goals against Arsenal, I always feel like he has a tough time against Gabriel and Saliba. Yeah, not this time though. Yeah, not this time. He had a good game against them. He had a good game against them. So listen, man, big up to him. Could have put maybe Ekatike. I felt like him and Haaland had the same kind of like the level of performance. I felt like it's the same. So Could have given it to Ekitike, to be fair, but Haaland's my guy. And the two wingers, they're the best. They were the best wingers. They were the best wingers. Wilson, Iwobi was probably the best. Probably between him and Gravenberch, and I'm probably going to give it to Iwobi, because his performance was just immense. He was everywhere. He was doing everything. He was tracking back. He was getting forward. Obviously, providing an assist. Iwobi was on smoke. Was on serious smoke, and Wilson was also on smoke in that same game as well. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, when Fulham went 1-0 down, I thought, could be a little bit techie here. Yeah, it wasn't techie, man. They just went boom, 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 and it's like they went up a few gears. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, man, big up to Fulham for that victory. As I said before, yeah, if I had to pick a player of the week, I'll give it to Iwobi. I'll give it to Iwobi. I think he was the best player of this weekend. Best team, Fulham. Yeah, best team was Fulham this weekend. Really emphatic victory, really good performance by their manager. Yeah, we'll give it to Marcus. We'll do a Fulham clean sweep in it. Marcus Silva. He actually looks always so crazy on the touchline. I don't know if you guys ever see him, but when he's on the touchline, he looks so mad. Like his eyes are like red popping out, kind of thing. So you can see the team obviously getting him mad. But listen, man, that's obviously the first game week. Well, I say first game. The first game week we've done here for this series. But obviously, make sure you're locked in. Make sure you stay tuned. Like I said, this will be a live every now and again. So just make sure you keep your notification bells on, and also let me know. And I'll obviously timestamp this for everybody, but let me know in the comment section who is your team of the week, player of the week, performance of the week, manager of the week, and you know what? Maybe even goal. Who had a really good goal? Really good goal. Gravenberch's goal was good. I like that goal. I liked Haaland's goal as well. Stack's free kick was mad. That was mad. That was mad. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Stack actually. That free kick was mad because he went. I even said in my head as soon as I went in, I was like, oh, he just went the keeper side. Yes, long day for you. Long day for you. It's either him or Gravenberch. Gravenberch's goal was good though. Gravenberch's goal was good. I have to give him that still. It was a good goal. But listen, look, let me know what yours is in the comment section, people. And we'll catch you for game week 6 next week. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.